Welcome back. Another great Christmas book today, The Christmas Box. There's a very good chance you've heard of this book. You might have even read this book. But for those who haven't, we wanted to put our stamp of approval on it and let you know that we really liked it. The whole family read it, and some of us were tearing up, and others were crying harder than others. So it's going to be a tearjerker. It's by Richard Paul Evans. And I want to just mention really quickly, we're going to do another blog post on his book, The Christmas Box Miracle. But I love that one because it tells the story of how he got this one published. It's really fascinating and super good. But The Christmas Box Miracle talks about how he wrote the Christmas box like over a holiday season or over a break from school, or I think he was running a campaign and then he didn't have anything to do for a few months, or it was something like that, and he wrote it up and he believed in it, and it's really cool how the book came into being and how he promoted it and how he finally got it published. So that's really cool. But this is a story, it's set in the, what do we decide? Like the 50s maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Because she's writing the letters in 1914.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like 30 or 40 years before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like 1950s or something.
Yeah. So he has grown up in California, and he gets a job opportunity. He has some connections to Utah, and he comes to Salt Lake to partner with somebody to start up a tux rental, formal rental business. And it was kind of a new thing then. And so he's married, and they have one child. She's like four. And they're living in Utah and trying to run this business, and they're pinching pennies. It's really a big financial struggle. And his wife is genius and sees this ad where someone can live with these elderly women on the avenues, which is, I guess, supposed to be this nice, poshy area. And she has a really big old mansion that she lives in. And she just wants someone to kind of help take care of her and live there with her. And she wants it to be a couple, and the woman will take care of her, and the man will kind of help take care of the yard. So then what happens?
So then they go and talk to the lady about it, and she's like, oh, of course I'll let you stay with me or stuff. She really likes them.
And then?
I don't remember what happened next.
Then they move in.
Yeah.
And while they're moving in,
he sees a box upstairs in the attic that is has Christmas stuff on it, like the nativity or something, carved into it. And he likes it and stuff.
And so that's the Christmas box. And here's the thing about this book. It's short. I mean, we read it in 2 or 3 hours. It's like 90 pages and it's a little tiny thing. And there's lots of big font and lots of empty spaces and all that kind of stuff. And lots of dialogue. So it's a really quick afternoon read. It's a short story. But the first half of the book, I had to encourage the kids to keep going. Like, remember, everybody wanted to stop at chapter 3, and they wanted to stop at chapter 4. And then once we hit the middle of the book, then there was like this mystery to it. Like before, he's kind of trying to build the characters, and he's trying to really set a scenario and help you understand what his personal struggle is and why that matters, and how this elderly woman figures it out, and then what he figures out about her and why that's important and all that kind of stuff. And we won't give the plot away, but we will tell you that this was a book that really appealed to those who had lost their children. And it had a huge, just like totally resonated with people. But the central message is about Christ, which is super awesome. And the way he talks about Christ's role and what difference that makes in our daily lives, and the way it changes the way he sees his life and the way he behaves, is super awesome. So Reagan, what did you like about it?
It was a really awesome book. I don't know. It really kind of got you at the heart. A couple places. I'm in an a cappella group, and we sing this song called All Through the Night that's a lullaby. And I almost cried a couple of times while singing it after reading this book, because it means so much more to me, because it's like a lullaby, but that it's... So then I thought of it being like a lullaby to like a really loved one, or to Christ even, that Mary would be singing. Anyways.
That's awesome.
So that's...
Yeah, that's awesome. And especially some of the way the story plays out, and then at the very end, how he ties it back to Christianity and Christ's role. It's a really, I really recommend you read it this holiday season, and read it earlier on so that your family is thinking about what's most important about Christmas. Because that's really what it did for us. It was another good reminder that, no, this is about the fact that Christ was born, and it's about the fact that he died and was resurrected, and that's what matters most. And that's why he's central to what we do. And so it will mean more to Christians for that reason, but it's a beautiful story for anyone to enjoy and appreciate. And there are symbols, Christ symbols, in many religious cultures and in many religious books. And so if you were to even read this and tie it back to, if you have a little bit different beliefs, then it still might be a fantastic experience. But that's The Christmas Box by Richard Paul Evans. You can get it in a pretty inexpensive little paperback like this and read it in an evening around a fire with some popcorn, or while you're stringing your popcorn or doing your tree or whatever it is that you're doing this holiday season. And remember, it will help you remember what's most important this season. So Seth wanted to say a few words about The Christmas Box. I didn't realize, I remembered after Reagan and I talked about it on our blog post that Seth really loved it too, and he stayed around and stood by me the whole time and kept asking questions and making sure that he got the plot right, and really, really enjoyed discussing it. So what did you want to say about it?
I liked how Mary was so nice to them. And
that's the elderly lady that they lived with.
Yeah. And I liked that she always read not to
Oh,
Carrie.
she did read to their daughter a lot, didn't she?
What was her name? It wasn't Carrie. That was the mom.
I can't remember. We'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would read to the little girl a lot, and she kind of acted like a grandmother to him. And she could have just been like, "This is my house. You need to do this or that." But really, she was just make yourself a home and come eat dinner with me and hang out with me and stuff like that, huh? Mm-hmm. She was super nice. Anything else?
I liked how the dad said, "I have to go to work, but maybe I'll do it when I get home," to the little girl.
Uh-huh.
And he probably wanted to do it right then, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
Because he was going to be late for work.
Yeah. And then later, he took more time for her, remember? When Mary said, "You better go read to her right now," and he did it. And he was so glad that he did it. Remember that part? All right, anything else? You think everybody else should read it to their kids?
Yeah.
You think their kids will like it?
Yeah.
All right. That's a good word from 6, right here, almost 7. So even your uncle kids probably like it.
So The Christmas Box
by Richard Paul Evans. See you next time.
See ya. Bye.